Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to look at some licks and ideas that you've heard but you didn't necessarily know what they were or where they came from. Outer space possibly. The technical term is playing in sixths or thirds, and you've heard it before many times. Okay, so that's playing in sixths and playing in thirds, which we've heard before. So what we'll do, we will go in close and I'll just break it down for you so you can try it out for yourself. See you up close in a mo. Once again, here we are, up nice and close. So just a quick theory lesson so we know where we're coming from. So if we take a major scale, I have done videos on major scales before, which you can check out. A typical major scale. Okay, we'll do it in G. So if I played a major scale along the length of the string, so those same notes along the length of this string. So we have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, so that's the 3rd fret, 5th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 12th, 14 and then 15 to finish. If I started those same notes along the G string, okay, I would go from the B to give me my first interval of sixths. Okay, so if I played the major scale from the B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if you take those same intervals from the top here, start on the B, which is here, count them straight up till you get to your octave of B, if you wanted to. Have a look at that. Check out the major scale. If I want to then play a scale using those intervals, play them as what you might call double stops. The first one is, as I said, abbreviating that chord. First finger, 3rd fret, high E, middle finger, 4th fret, G string. Then the next one is I move up to the 5th fret with my middle finger, and then I'm going to bring my ring finger in for the 5th fret on the high E. So I've got. Then I'm going to take that same shape, slide it up to the 7th fret. I'm going to go back to the first shape, but here. So I'm going to move my middle finger to the 9th fret, bring my index finger to the 8th fret. Then I'm going to move that finger a whole tone so that this finger here goes to the 10th and this finger here goes to the 11th. So far I've got then I'm going to shift up and use the other configuration. Middle finger 12th fret, ring finger 12th fret. Remember, this is all on the G and the E strings. That's the next one. Then we're going to slide that figure up a whole fret, sorry, a whole tone up to the 14th. And then finish where we started and move the middle finger up to the 16th fret with the first finger on the 15th. So altogether that would be You can of course strum those figures as long as you mute out the B string, okay? Yeah? So you've got to make sure that's muted. And of course you've heard these motifs being used in lots of different songs, blues particularly in my case. Little chromatic in the middle there. As with the thirds and the sixths, what you're really doing is going through the chords, abbreviated chords of the major scale. So once again, I've done a video on all the chords in the major scale, but what you're doing is just that. So as you go up, if you know your chords of the major scale, you can count them as to what chord you're playing. So there's your G, next chord is an A minor, so there's your A minor, next chord is a B minor, so you got C major, D major, E minor, yeah, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, lovely. I think so. Anyway, it's basically a minor chord with a flat 5, so it's still a minor chord, minor third with the root there, F sharp, and then back to the beginning. Really difficult to get your fingers in there. There you go. Let's move on to intervals of thirds now. So the theory behind it is exactly the same. If we stick to G to start with, okay, so we're here for G. It's the same two notes, but now the low note is the G, and there's only 3 scale tones between them. Okay, so G, A, B. So we're just using these 2 notes here, and like the theory before, the major scale intervals, so as you move up you're basically going along the major scale. So if I played from the G as before, okay, so again we start from the G there, here we're starting from the B, we've got the B, so that was the same as this but kind of flipped. So if I move up in the same fashion using the same movement as before, I would get okay. So let's move it down a little bit. If we do it in C, so we get the C here, and okay, so there's my C, then there's the next one here, so and this is a typical one that we've probably heard before in a certain song. Which I'm sure you recognise that, or maybe not. That version, maybe you didn't recognise it. Anyway, so my first chord is a C. Again, we're abbreviating it in third, 3 scale tones between them. First finger on the B string on the 1st fret, open E string on this occasion. Then we bring the middle finger up to the 3rd fret on the B, first finger on the 1st fret of the high E. Okay. Shift that up a whole tone. So that's 3rd fret, 5th fret. Then we bring the middle finger back into play. That's how I do it anyway. So then we've got that for the F, 8th fret, 5th fret, whole tone slide up to the G. Bring this finger back into play, 10th fret, 8th fret. Then we come to the B minus 7 flat 5, or the B diminished. But of course it's a minor anyway, so we're just using the root and the minor 3rd. But if you wanted to hear the diminished part of it, play the F. Okay, and then we're back up to C to finish. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video and you managed to get something from the content. If you did and you enjoyed it, give us a like. Please leave a comment, and most importantly, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It all helps, and I do appreciate all your interaction. So until next time, see ya.